it's Presley at ActOutGames.com here, and today is Craft Monday, and I am going to be showing you how we made these amazing flowers and vases.
Cool. Okay, so we got these ideas. We put two ideas together from two different videos that we watched recently. The flowers came from a new channel called Pinbusters, where they take a look at different pins on Pinterest and try them out and see if they work or not, and give them pin trusted or pin busted as their rating system, which I think is pretty cool.
Yes, I love all sorts of pin busting things. Yeah,
so this is a really good one. People definitely check that out. There'll be a link in the description to check that out. And then the vases that we made from those different bottles that we had, that idea came from AndreasChoice, who I found when we were looking at some of the other special guests creators at VidCon. So she's going to be at VidCon doing some stuff, and so I was looking at some of her videos, watching the special guest creators, and this was a really cool idea. She had a video, like I said, that had like 5 different ideas for home decor, and this is the one that I thought looked the coolest to kind of do and play around with, because it looks nice when you're done with it, but it's also kind of fun to do, right? It's kind of a cool thing to actually create. So let's show people how we made these.
Yeah. Okay, so the first step is to pick your bottle. I'm using this potion bottle that my friend gave me.
I'm using one of Mommy's glass Coke bottles, Mexican Coke bottles, because they use real sugar and not high fructose corn syrup.
Yay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so the next step is just to paint it white with some white acrylic paint. Yeah, just some craft paint. And so we got some white craft paint here, and then this is going to be our work area and a little paper plate. We burned through a lot of paper plates, and so you know, just take about 3 coats probably, especially on this Coke bottle to cover up this Coke logo. So just put a coat on, let it dry. We scraped off the label of mine.
We did. We scraped off those labels.
But I don't know about this one.
This is printed on where you can't do that. So we're just going to paint these white, 1 coat, or 3 coats. Sorry, 1 coat at a time. All right. On the paint to dry on the bottles, let's make our flowers.
Yay!
Okay, so all you need is a page out of a magazine. The more colorful, the better. And then, so I'm just kind of following what the Pinbusters did here. I haven't actually watched the pin that they got it from, but this is what came from the Pinbusters. So I would take the torn edge and fold that in about 1/3. And then fold the top part back down so that you've got it kind of folded in 3/4.
This?
Yeah, okay, perfect. And then one thing I like to do that they didn't do when I watched the thing is take a piece of tape and just kind of tape that closed down at the bottom. It gives it a little bit more stability and kind of holds it together when you're cutting it and stuff. So kind of right here in the middle. So put it with like the tape half off so it wraps around the other side. There you go. And then pick it up and tuck it over like that. So that helped me when I did it to make it. And you want to do that again like where you have this piece that's coming off, right? And so on the other side, where it's just the fold, there's not the opposite of where that's coming up. No, I think it's fine to do that. What you want to do is cut in from the other side where it's just folded, and you want to do even cuts about, you know, 1/2 inch or so apart, and you want to go down, you know, not quite to the bottom, about like that. Just be real careful not to go cut all the way through. Yeah, it's nice. And then you're just going to do another one about the same distance apart, and try as best you can to keep the bottoms even, like where your cuts stop, because that'll help it when you wrap it and make the flower out of it. And you don't want to cut past the where that sheet is. That's one of the mistakes that I've made. I may have just done it again a little bit, but we'll see.
How many reject flowers do you have?
You know, I haven't rejected any of them. They all turned out okay, but I could tell that they worked better if you did a couple of things, and that's one. Is just make sure you don't cut through and try and keep them as even as possible and keep the bottom of them even as possible. It definitely matters how, you know, careful you are and meticulous you are when you put them together. So then we're gonna take one of these little sticks. It's just a little like from a craft store stick. And you're gonna, wait. You're gonna take a little piece of tape and you're gonna put it down on the bottom. Not where the, where you were cutting from, but the bottom where it's all still together. And then you're gonna tape it onto the end of your stick like this, look. So you're just gonna put it right there on the end of the stick just so it starts, right? And then you're just gonna wrap. Try to keep it kind of smooth. So it'll start opening up into a flower already. So you want to try and keep it from opening up too much while you're wrapping it because they kind of get in each other's way. So if you keep it all compressed and then you can spread it out after you get it on here, it works better. And when you get it done, just tape it back up. The last step is we're going to take some floral tape, and we're going to wrap the rest of the stick. So there's flowers. There's mine and Presley's, and Presley made like thicker cuts on hers, and I made thinner cuts, so you can kind of see how they do.
I have this one stick thing in the middle.
On Pinbusters, they were talking about maybe doubling up and doing another page of the magazine and wrapping it around to make it kind of a fuller blossom, which I think would probably be a good idea. I haven't tried that yet to see how that works, but I bet it would work well. And then my bottle's drying. But you can see already, like it's kind of a nice little, you pick the colors of your magazine page
to go.
To kind of go with what you're doing there. You could probably bend these out a little bit and do something cool with them, different sizes or something, make a bouquet. I think it looks nice with one.
Yeah.
And then we'll cut yours off because you're using a smaller bottle. But yeah, so we got one more coat of paint to go on the bottles, and then we'll do the decorating of the bottles and show you how that works. Right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so now that the final coat of paint has dried, we are going to take some nail polish and put a few drops in these buckets of water.
Yep.
And then we are going to kind of put them onto these jars to make them have a really cool looking marbled effect.
Yeah, that's right. So, I don't know, I can't tell how to tell what kind of nail polish will work, but what you want is for it to float.
Yes.
When you pour it in there real gently, if it floats on top of the water, then you've probably got a good nail polish there. Okay? So let's try it. Let me put one in here.
Okay, I'm going to put this down on my plate.
And if you pour it in kind of gently, it's got a better chance of floating. Yeah, that's really good. And so it's going to kind of make a film that covers the top of the water. Real gently. That's more than enough.
So I like that.
That's more than enough. You're good. Okay, and then you can actually put more than one color in at the same time.
Yes.
So I want to use a little silver with mine.
Yeah, it would look good. I just don't know how it would look in the bottle, but those colors look pretty good together.
See, they kind of mix together a little bit even in the water, so just a little bit.
Now we're going to take our bottles and kind of dip them in.
Yeah.
And it'll pick up the nail polish.
Yeah, so the nail polish that's floating on top of the water will stick to the bottles, so you can kind of put them in and turn them a little bit, and you should get these really cool patterns.
Maybe
so you want a container.
Do a Sunday on this.
You want a container that's kind of big enough that you can get your bottle in really good and kind of move it around, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
So just real gently, don't dunk it all the way under so it fills up with the water.
Just gently.
Spin.
Cool. It appears black.
Oh, it's pretty cool. So you can kind of spin it a little bit so it kind of picks up and doesn't stick too much. Now turn it upside down so you get the top of it in there. Is there a place you can grab it? You might let it dry a little bit. It should dry pretty quickly.
I like the way my top looks.
Oh, that's very cool. I like that too.
So this is what they look like when you're done. They look really cool. And you don't just have to use the marbling technique for bottles. You could use them for all sorts of things. We actually marbled a few sticks. And you can marble all sorts of things. Some people use it to marble their nails even. So all sorts of things will be able to have this really cool splatter pattern on them. So definitely check it out. And my main thing is don't limit yourself to doing it on bottles.
Yeah, no,
do it on anything.
That was just an idea,
yes.
right? And it worked really well. And so thanks again to the Pinbusters for the flowers, they're really cool, and to AndreasChoice for the bottle designs. She had a really cool video that had like 5 ideas for how to update your house.
Yeah.
Do some cool decorating things. This was one of them. We'll put a link to that video, and we'll put a link over to the Pinbusters flower video. So definitely check out both of those channels. I think you'll really like them. There's some really good ideas going on over there. Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
So yeah, thank you for watching, and tomorrow. Bye!
Bye, guys.